Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be I will be doing a series of videos, and those videos will be all around educational material, for example. So, a lot of employers do ask a lot of questions from us. Some employers are sort of employees who have been in the industry already. So that means they already have a taste of the whole process. Some employers are new employers. They haven't been in the industry, but they've been in the business for 1 year or so. So the today's topic is about labor market check. What is the labor market check? How to do it for the job checks, for example. So I will be linking labor market check. I'll be linking the job check and then the job offer or a work visa applications. So the labor market check, as per the current regulations, you need to have a labor market check done to prove that there are no New Zealand resident and citizens, which is why you want to offer the job to a migrant national. Could be anybody from Dubai, India, Africa, UK, anywhere, right? How the labor market check is done. Now, for the skilled role, which is skill level 1, 2, 3 role, you must advertise the job online on TradeMe, Seek, My Job Space, and Indeed as well is quite acceptable by INZ. We in our practice, we use My Job Space and TradeMe based on the customer requirements. You need to list a job for 2 weeks, for example, or you can list for 3 weeks as per the immigration requirements. And once you have all the applications ready, you go through the applications. First of all, you don't have to justify the applications which are from migrant workers. Let's say you listed a job for a chef, for example, right? And if you got 20 CVs, out of 20 CVs you got for the chefs, 15 CVs are from the applicants which are from offshore. You don't need to do anything about it. But 5 CVs are from the applicants which are onshore. Now, within good spirit, you really need to go through those applicants, offer them the terms and conditions of the jobs, either verbally or through email, organize an email interview, send them an email. Basically, you need to justify that you have gone through those 5 applicants. They were not suitable for whatsoever reasons. Now, you cannot tell them that, oh, the chef is not suitable because he cannot drive. That will not be the valid reason not to offer the job. The chef can go by bus, he can be dropped off. So he is a valid applicant. And you do need to consider him, for example. So mid-skill job checks a little bit easy, decline in applicants is easy, and if you don't get anybody, then obviously you can close the job listing and then you can go to apply for the job check, right? When the job, but if we talk about the low skill jobs, for example, drivers, van drivers, or kitchen hands and others, so the low skill jobs, which is NSCO skill level 4 and 5, those job checks will need to be done with an evidence, if immigration officer asks for, that they have also engaged work and income, which is Ministry of Social Welfare and Development. Now, for the skill level 4-5 jobs, that is where the problem happens. When you engage work and income for those job checks, they used to send, normally the intent is they send a lot of applicants. Maybe if you go for a kitchen hand, a skill broker or work and income, he may send you 4 or 5 referrals or 10 referrals or 20 referrals, which is where employers ask us, Gaurav, how do we decline them? What do we do them? They are not good people. Hey, look, if they're not good employees, you go through the right process. So out of 10 referrals, first of all, if somebody is being referred by wins, it is automatically, you can assume that person is not interested in the job so much, because if a person was interested in the job, he could have come to your business and find the job himself. The very first fact that government, which is MSD, is helping or supporting or pushing people to go to the jobs is just because they're on the benefit. They are taking government money. So what government is trying to do through MSD, they're trying to refer those people to the employers through these programs. They place them into the jobs and they should not get the free money from the government. So if you get some referrals, some wins, don't get scared. You go back to those applicants by a phone call and email and ask them, hey, are you interested in the job because you referred by wins? I can tell you 60% on average, based on my experience, they do not respond. Okay, they're the difficult cases for skill brokers and wins brokers. Now, if 40% people, let's say 10 out of 4 people replied, hey, yes, I'm happy to do the interview, the good ones, they may have something behind the scenes or hidden agenda. They may come for the interview and they may say, yes, I want the job. But when you offer the job to them, they don't turn up, right? So you have to go through these steps, sir. This is part of the job check process. This is part of the LMC. Sometimes if you tell people, hey, look, you need to work at the weekends and we open the restaurant till 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning, they say, I'm really sorry, I'm not interested. Well, they don't say it to you, but they will be thinking, I'm really sorry, I'm not interested with the job because I already get the benefit, right? So these are the sort of processes. This is how you approach this thing. The reason I'm making a video, because we do hundreds and thousands of applications in my office. Now I have done this video especially for the employers. This video, and I will show that this is covered in the start of the video also. This video is for the employers to understand the job check process, for example, how to do the labor market check when you work with MSD, when you work with TradeMe or My Job Space and other adverts, or you work through Education Advisor. Now, what happens after the LMC? Once the labor market check is completed, you need to close the listing, apply for the job check, which is what your LIA or lawyer will do it, or I will do for you. Now, once the job checks has been approved, the major mistake employers are doing or the people are doing, they already select the applicant offshore in UK or Dubai or India or Singapore or Philippines, right? And those applicants already done the medical, already done the PCC, already done everything, and they straight away apply for the visa next morning. That is wrong, right? And if you do that, Immigration New Zealand will decline your application. Because if you think about it, once you close the job check, that means you could not find anyone in New Zealand. Then only you will start the process to find a migrant worker, which is offshore, for example. So technically, the first interaction that employers should be doing with a prospective employee who is offshore should be after the job check has been granted. Once the job check has been granted, technically that can also start. This process can also start when the job check application is in the process. That time the process can start, right? Because if you think about it, potentially no New Zealanders you found, you applied for the job check, so you can go back in the market, offshore market, and start looking and start triaging and start scouting for the applicants offshore. So that process either can start the day you submit the job check or the day you close the LMC process for onshore applicants, and then you go and look for the applicants offshore. But ideally or potentially or technically, once the job check is granted or applied for, then an employer can send an email for the person. Then the employer can send an email to the person who you want to invite from offshore, for example. They can send an email to the applicant, hey, look, we want you to be considered for the role. Are you available for the interview on Gmail or Zoom or something, for example? They accept the interview. You do the interview process. You go through 1 round, 2nd round, 3rd round, whatever the rounds you needed, and then you select an applicant. Once the applicant is selected, then you need to offer them a job offer, an employment agreement via email, for example, right? And then there should be a date after that. Once the guy reads it, signs it back, send it to you. Technically, parallelly, once the job is confirmed, signed by both parties, only then he should go for the medical or police certificates. Then the visa should be applied. This whole process is called a hiring process. So Immigration New Zealand would be demanding an evidence of that. Most of the visa application for work visa gets declined. 90% of the work visa application gets declined because employer did not follow the labor market check process properly. Okay, they did not hire the applicant offshore properly. They did not have the evidences. Now in our practice, we make sure we gather all those emails and WhatsApp messages, then give them as part of the work visa applications. If you do that, 100% approval rate, your visa will not be declined on the fact that employer hiring process was compromised and you were already being offered the job without the labor market check was fully finalized, for example. Now immigration, if you don't give this proof or trail emails with the date wise of full chronological history, how the applicant was offered the job offshore, if you don't give that, you get a verification phone call from the verification officer in Delhi. What he's going to ask you, hey, how did you get the job? Who offered you? Who referred you? then the applicants gets a bit funny, they fumble, they hesitate, and that is when they get a decline because they give wrong answers. This is what it is, right? So you got to make sure when you offer the job to someone, follow the process, give the documentation, and then you get an approval. Otherwise, no. So this is a sort of educational video for the employees from end to end how to get this done and get a successful outcome. Thank you.